Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, or evening with the sun out, I guess it is, here at 5:30. Room 206, the regular meeting of the Blight Review Board is called to order. First matter is the usual minutes of the meeting, and I have complicated that issue a little bit, so I sent you alternative minutes because I focused on a couple of things that I thought deserved a little more attention. And rather than trying to cut and paste, which we could do, but I just suggest we try to, if you've seen those minutes, and I've talked with the town clerk who's explained, well, they've already got one version, so we have to basically substitute this version I have proposed for that version. If I could have a motion to approve that idea, thank you, Mr. Cameron, seconded Ms. Oki. Any further discussion on that? I will highlight the particular property when we get to it that I had concern about, and I wanted to be sure we handled properly. But if everybody's all in favor, please say. Raise your hand, or do both, whatever you want to do. Okay. Seeing no owners or representatives here, we can skip the executive session for now, but I think we'll do that in a little while. So we can turn immediately to Mr. Farrens and start our review of the pending properties. Please, Mr. Farrens.
Sir. So first we have 16001. No changes here.
Okay, and we have approved the notion of foreclosure, and so that should be in the works. Okay then.
All right.
170011.
Yes, but back to 001.
Sorry,
I did get I see an email from the town attorney that they filed a certificate of devise with the town clerk for this property.
Oh.
So
that suggests
apparently something wasn't quite right with the legal ownership.
I think that means the owner of whom we heard some talk, who was ill, has passed away. The certificate of devise would be.
I don't think that was it. I think that something got missed in a previous transaction, because this was with a name that I haven't seen before.
Oh yeah.
But anyway, the town attorney has taken care of that.
Okay.
But I thought it was important that you
right.
be
they're
aware
trying to
of
clean
that.
up title. Fine, but that is what a certificate of devise is. It tells the land records that the former owner has passed away and devised it to someone subsequent. But we don't need to go any deeper.
Meaning why we haven't heard.
It would help explain, although we were hearing from the daughter, not the actual owner. So anyway, we'll wait and see, but council can move along, that's fine.
All right. 17011.
Right.
No changes here. And the lien was updated on February 24th, or a continuing lien.
Good, okay.
17019.
No, it's 011, I just wanted to focus on.
Sorry.
No, I'm sorry. But, okay, no, we can move on, thank you.
All right, 17019. Nothing has changed here. The vehicle's still in the driveway.
Yeah. Have we asked her in lately? I don't think so.
No, we have not.
All right.
I sent her a letter telling her that the board was going to consider reinstating the fines as of next month, I believe, and I thought that might get her here, but she's obviously not here tonight, and maybe she'll show up next month.
All right, so on October 10 of 22, we did find conditions of blight. I recall that they included moss growing on the roof, debris in the yard. You can see that's still the case. There was an unregistered vehicle parked there at the time. That is a different vehicle than what is currently there.
It's been there since last February.
Yeah, I suspect it's not registered, but I don't know. There is a plate on it. Which
There is.
Discreetly covered, which is fine, but, so my concern is whether the conditions of blight are the same or have changed. They really are the same, I think.
I think they're the same.
Yeah, so we found that there were those conditions. And you gave her a letter that we would consider recommencing those fines. Do you have any, did you send that by certified mail or Marshall? Or
No, I did not.
Okay. I think we ought to be sure she gets that notice, and so my suggestion is that we tell her that those fines will commence 30 days after receipt by her or abode service by a marshal to do our diligence. And then they will recommence. Comments, concerns, objections?
No, that's fine with me.
All right, so can I have a motion to that effect?
So moved.
Ms. Oki, Mr. Cameron seconded. So the motion is that we will provide notice by marshal that fines at $100 a day will recommence 30 days from the date marshal serves it. All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Okay, thank you.
18004. And once again, not much has changed, except there's some scaffolding in front of the house now.
Yeah, okay.
This
This one prompts me to suggest an executive session to consider potential litigation. So could I have a motion to go into executive session? Ms. Oki did, Mr. Cameron seconded. We're all in favor. Thank you. If you close the doors, channel 79, we will let you know as soon as we can. Motion to return to regular session,
So
Mr.
moved.
Cameron. Ms. Oki seconding regular session. Thank you. We are all in favor. We're back in regular session. I want to suggest that it would be appropriate to have a motion to renew our recommendation that the Board of Selectmen proceed with foreclosure proceedings for what is our file number 18004. The picture is showing on our screen. We have reviewed the status of that property, and it is still, to our minds, at least mine, I will say, showing blight conditions. And for the record, just to be specific, Section 3 of the Blight Ordinance, subsection 6, determines that a property may also be determined to be blighted if it contains two or more of the following. And sub 6 says inoperative or unregistered motor vehicles or mechanical equipment parked, kept, or stored on the premises unless garaged or appropriately covered or screened. We have seen photos of a number of vehicles in the back of that property and mechanical equipment, including a tractor, that don't belong there and are certainly unsightly. Beyond that, there is a provision at subsection 13 which contemplates any other condition which alone or in combination with another of the above substantially interferes with the reasonable and lawful use and enjoyment of other space within a building, structure, other premises, or rights of way within the neighborhood. And clearly, anybody who can see this from the street or from neighborhoods, that has to impact the enjoyment of their own property. And so that I believe we have those two factors that permit us to determine that it is indeed blight. We have in fact found that in the past, and but we've been asked to reconsider that now for the Board of Selectmen. So I would first entertain a motion that we make that recommendation to the Board of Selectmen.
So moved.
Mr. Cameron moves. Is there a second? I will second it. And any further discussion?
I think the selectmen can make their determination.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm okay in going along with, your feelings.
Okay.
Yeah, the only other thing I would add is this case has been around since 2018, and it has already accumulated fines of almost $200,000. And the situation, as we look at it month to month, does not seem to change a great deal. So I would concur with the motion.
Okay then. Without further discussion, I'll call the question. All in favor, please indicate by raising your hand. There we go. That's unanimous. Okay. So I will get word either to Mr. Burke or to Mr. Zagrodsky that that is our renewed recommendation. Okay. Thank you. Mr. Ferentz, what's next?
21001. And no changes here.
Right.
That's been presented to the selectmen for
Yes.
foreclosure.
Yes. I think they are proceeding. Last I heard. So nothing further for us to do at this point. Did we update the, yeah, that was also just, the lien was also just updated for that.
Yes.
Good. Okay, next.
23001. And nothing has changed here.
Okay,
The garage is still in very poor shape.
yeah. Let's see, we have,
You look at the roof of the garage, you can see that there's a substantial amount of it missing.
He was going to get an estimate by April, I thought.
in fact,
For
demolished.
demolition. Yeah,
He
for
said,
demolition.
Yeah.
He said he could take care of it by April. I don't know if that was April 1st or April 30th, but in the month of April.
Yeah. So we gave him notice as long ago as July 16 of 24 of the determination of blight. And he has, I am referring to the owner's son, who has been here a number of times and has explained some difficult circumstances, but ultimately we haven't gotten what we need to get for, I think, safety concerns and the possible collapse of that structure. So we did notify him of notice of determination. So I think now we should notify him that if the conditions of the garage are not remedied in the 30 days, then fines of $100 a day will begin. Might as well have that same marshal make that service at her abode, the owner's abode. If that is agreed, do I have a motion to that effect?
So moved.
Mr. Cameron did, Ms. Oki seconded, all in favor? Okay. Clear enough, Mr. Ferentz, to operate with?
Yes.
Okay, you've got the specifics of the blight, I'm sure.
Yes.
Okay, then, next.
23004.
Oh, yes.
And
And this actually closed on February 24th. I just looked it up.
Yes,
Yeah, so it was sold by the folks we had been dealing with.
yes.
There is now a new owner, and you've been in
I
contact?
spoke to him probably on the 26th.
Hmm.
The attorneys had passed a notice, our notice, that fines were going to begin along, and he finally got a hold of it. And he said, I didn't know anything about this, so on and so on. And I said, well, what are you planning on doing with this? And he said, well, our intention is to tear the house down and build a new house there. But there is a very small area where they can build, so they need variances. And he said he was going to have his application into zoning or ZBA. I'm not sure which it was. I guess it's ZBA.
ZBA would handle the variances.
Yeah, and he was going to have that in by this month, and he had hopes that he could get on the calendar for next month. If he gets on the calendar and they don't approve his plans as he presents them, then his intention is to just remodel this house, following the guidelines that were given to the previous owners.
Mm-hmm.
And this is the new owner you're speaking of?
This is the owner of the construction company
Okay.
who owns the building and the property.
Yeah, okay.
And he's already moved some equipment in here. I don't know why, but I think he's eager to get started.
Yeah, I'll bet. Okay, and at our last meeting, it was generally agreed that the owner would be given notice of the commencement of fines. At this point, I would encourage us to rescind that, given the owner's situation where this is a new problem to him and he's moving forward with the application to ZBA. I think we've got to give him time in fairness to him. He's now aware of us, and so he has some incentive just from that, I'm sure, to keep this on track. I was also, I will say, a little uncomfortable with there was no motion made as I reviewed the video of the last meeting to actually start those fines. There was no discussion of it being $100 a day or anything. So I'm a little uneasy having to defend that decision someday. So, but in any event, I would just like to entertain a motion that fines, any determination of fines being commenced now be rescinded.
For property 23004.
Exactly, thank you.
I'll second that.
Yes, thank you. And Ms. O'Keefe?
Yes.
Okay. So all in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
Can I ask Hank a question? What does the orange markings on the highway there indicate?
That means that he has called the state call before you dig
311, whatever it is.
hotline, I think. I'm
Yeah.
not sure if it's 311.
Yeah.
But anyway, orange is communications lines. Blue is water, and green is sewer. See, there's some green in there.
Yep.
There you go.
So those people, and I don't see it, but gas is yellow. That's just so the contractor knows what he shouldn't dig near.
Yeah, good.
So that's a sign that the contractor is going to move forward with something.
I would say so.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I would call that victory.
Exactly.
We need a victory.
Yeah.
At least the poor couple are out of their misery.
Yes,
Yes.
that was a regrettable circumstance, but, okay, so I'm sure you'll let us know when that hearing takes place and, when we should expect some further movement, I hope.
I will.
Okay, cool. Thank you, all right. And if we're lucky, that's the end of it. Are we lucky?
Yes, you are.
Oh, all right, good.
Good.
What did I have on my mind? Oh, the agenda, I think, did anticipate a question of whether or not.
Ordinance fines.
Yeah, whether the council has been working on the amendment to the ordinances to which I recently referred concerning the fine structure going up to $250. I did ask Mr. Burke about that. He said that is his understanding that that is in the works. So we don't have a draft yet, but can't be too far off.
Is there anything else that we wanted to amend, given that we haven't really changed the definition of blight since the
Right, no.
board was created? Is there anything else we wanted to revise or add?
I didn't have any notion to that, on that subject. We're open to it. I'm sure we still have the opportunity to talk to council about that. The one thing that did occur to me is interest. We don't have any provision for charging interest. So there may come a time when property is sold, well, we had a property sold and the lien was not paid. There is no provision for interest being charged on that. But that's, I'm not suggesting we pursue that right now. That's not clear enough in my head as to what we can do about that or anything else. So.
Is there anything else in the state ordinance regarding blight that we would want to include?
I think we asked council to look at that and
Okay.
do whatever.
Because they did update they, had the review that came in front of us
That's
from
right.
the state.
That's
They did
right.
change and update, and I guess they had where you could take over property if you were a neighbor, if it was blighted, you remember that.
That's right, yeah. Receivership
Yep.
was possible. I think they're gonna get into that.
It was much stricter than our regulations.
Right, right. And I think they were going to incorporate that in the new blight ordinance as options for us. Yeah,
So we would have to make sure that our ordinance was in compliance with the state ordinance. We just can't reference the state ordinance as superseding our own?
that would be too simple. Yeah, just, no. They may well reference in the new amendment that in accordance with such and such statute, we are doing this. But I do think they will spell out exactly what it is we can do now,
Okay.
including the 250 provision.
And we've already amended our ordinance to include commercial properties?
Yes, exactly right.
Okay.
We were actually a step ahead of this particular ordinance in that regard, so. On advice of council, we were told we can do it, and happily, we know now we can.
Good.
Okay, anything else? All right, Ms. Oki made a motion to adjourn, and Mr. Cameron seconded, and we all agreed unanimously, so we are done for today.